How to Varial Heelflip. In this video, I'm going to show you how to land a Varial Heelflip, and some common mistakes that might be holding you back from landing them. What is a Varial Heelflip? The Varial Heelflip is a combination of two basic tricks, the heel flip and the frontside shove it. A heel flip is where you flip the board under you by kicking it in an outward motion, opposite of the kick flip. A frontside shove it is where you spin the board frontside 180 degrees without turning your body. Typically, the basic fundamental skateboard tricks after learning the ollie are kick flips, heel flips, frontside and backside shove-its, and frontside and backside 180s. Once you start combining two or more of these basic tricks, you're advancing yourself to a more intermediate level of skateboarding. This may seem obvious to many of you, but since varial heel flips are a combination of two tricks, it will be much easier for you to learn this trick if you have a good understanding of frontside shove-its and heel flips before attempting this trick. The more consistent you are doing these two fundamental tricks, the easier and more natural this trick will come to you. Not only that, but if you start rushing your skateboarding progress without taking the time to learn the steps along the way, then you will more than likely either get discouraged, stop skateboarding, or even injure yourself. I made this video to help people perfect varial heel flips, as well as help people land one for the first time. Towards the end of the video, I will show you some steps and tricks you can use to land your first varial heel flip if you're really struggling. Also, I actually made this really terrible tutorial for this trick over 10 years ago. Even though it makes me cringe, I'm going to put it at the very end of this video and hopefully it'll entertain some of you.
Today we're going to learn some varial heel flips. Heel flips! Let's check it out.
There are a few things you should keep in mind before trying this trick. I like to remind you these things before explaining almost every trick, simply because it will help you to analyze the trick when you try it. It's important to stop and think about these things if the trick is not working so you can understand what's holding you back. Timing. All skateboard tricks involve good timing. Your feet have to work together, but they are doing separate motions. Slight adjustments to when you flick or pop the trick can get you closer to making the trick happen. It's common for people to be doing the perfect movement with one foot, but the other foot is stopping the movement from happening. When you watch someone or me do the trick, pay attention to where each foot is at any single moment and how the feet are working together. Jump. It's easy to get so wrapped up in thinking about what the board is doing that you forget to actually jump in the air. The most common mistake I see when people, or even when I'm learning a new trick, is to immediately put the foot you pop the board with on the ground. It's okay to do this the first try or even the first few tries, but then you want to start jumping over the board every try, and pull your popping foot up in the air. For these how-to videos, I actually spend a month or more sometimes perfecting, filming, and fully understanding these tricks, so that I can really break them down and help you guys land them. So if you're enjoying the video, or if it's helping you and you would like to support my channel, all you have to do is like the video, or even subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you can be notified when I post a new video. Foot position. The foot position for varial heel flips varies, but here are some guidelines for setting up for this trick. You want to put your back foot on the back edge of the tail so that only the very front of your foot is on the board. You also want to angle your back foot slightly. Your front foot should be near the center of the board in almost the same position that you would put it for an ollie. The main difference is you want to angle your foot slightly outward. The foot position is very similar to the frontside shove-it. With the frontside shove-it, the position of your front foot doesn't really matter as long as you can get it out of the way. However, with the varial heel flip, you need to position your foot so that you can flick the board at the beginning of the shove-it motion. You should also keep in mind that your shoulders should stay parallel to the board and how you want to land. The varial heel flip can be broken down into 4 parts: pressure, scoop and pre-flick, flick, and hang time and landing. Pressure. This trick is almost spring-loaded. What I mean by that is before you even pop the trick, you're able to put a lot of pressure into the board. The reason for this is your weight is evenly distributed and your front foot is centered on the board. So before you pop, you can really put a lot of pressure, allowing you to jump as high as you need to while you let the board flip under you. Just remember to keep your shoulders square with the board. Scoop and pre-flick. You are going to pop your board just like you're doing a frontside shove it. You don't need to scoop the board too hard. If you do, you'll end up flinging your back foot way out in front of you, causing you to lose your balance. Instead, you should focus on popping the board at a slight angle and slightly scooping as the board pops. The trick is to get the timing of the pop and scoop really well. It will probably help you to go back and do some frontside shove-its if you're struggling with this part. It will also build your confidence. As you're scooping with your back foot, you want to lift your front foot up the same way you would for a frontside shove-it. Only now you'll curl your front foot slightly inward as your tail is on its way to the ground. This will set you up for a good flick. Flick. The varial heel flip is actually one of the easiest tricks to flick. You just have to get the timing and direction right. As soon as you pop and the tail hits the ground is when you flick the board. When you flick the board, you want to flick it straight forward. Literally straight in front of you. This might feel strange at first because with the normal heel flip, you flick the board later after the pop, and you have to flick off the side of the board. After you get the board to flip right, you'll see that the flick happens much easier than it does with the normal heel flip. Hang time and landing. I think a lot of tutorials skip over this part of the trick. The main issue you'll have when you're trying to land varial heel flips is keeping the board under you. The board will always go behind you a small amount because of the scoop of this trick. If the board is flying really far behind you, then you'll probably need to focus more on popping the board and less on scooping it. You really want the board to flip, spin, and land under your body. If the board's flying away, then you'll need to adjust something in the way you're popping and scooping the trick. This might also be happening because you're leaning your weight too far behind you. If you are really struggling with landing, you can try flipping the varial heel flip, but landing on the ground on the back side of the board. This helps a lot of people with normal heel flips too. With a lot of tricks, it's hard to get your feet back over the board, but fortunately with this trick, it's more natural than most tricks. A good tip that helps if you're having commitment issues with most flip tricks is to land on the board even if it doesn't flip all the way. So if you're jumping high enough, getting a good pop and flick while keeping your weight over the board, then you just need to commit to landing it. Alright, as I promised, here's my first varial heel flip tutorial that I made 11 years ago. I hope you guys take it easy on me in the comments.
Get your ass over here, we're gonna learn varial heel flips.
Yes.
Huh? Alright, today we're gonna learn some varial heel flips.
Heel flips.
So check it out. The board goes on the ground. If you try to do this without the board on the ground, you're gonna have some problems. Check it out. You're gonna put your feet something like this. You got a little scoopy action going. You got a little heel flip action, I suppose. That's what you call that, right? Yeah, whatever. Okay, so you're gonna scoop it out. It's gonna go kind of like that, and then you let it pop up for a second, and then you go boom. You feel me? Boom. All right, now it's gonna flip like this. It's gonna come back down, and you gotta land on it. That's key. Landing is key. Alright, whatever. Let's do it.